You're seeing, people building agents, people building co-pilots. You have dev tools. You have, all kinds of kind of legacy applications being built out. And of course, through building Pipeshift, even kind of seeing your own customers, seeing the YC ecosystem in general. What parts of the AI ecosystem do you feel are kind of today overhyped? In terms of when you tie it back to the actual customer value being delivered, and then what parts do you think are actually overlooked, right? Where more people are kind of not talking about it.
I think I don't want to say overhyped. I think it's getting more attention than it should with everything else that I have seen. So because we work with so many AI companies, I think at core, I tend to see use cases and interesting pieces of work that people do come compared to what's just available on Twitter. So I think it's less about overhyped. I think AI is to a certain extent very early even now. It's like probably first or second year of like a 10, 15 year journey even now from here. I think I would say less looked at in sides would be the boring work that people do. There are a lot of boring use cases where there's actual business value, and you'll be surprised on how easy it is to get customer delight over there. But I do see many engineers, probably because they understand it, just going after coding use cases. And that's like a heavy competition. Like every now and then there's a new way of helping developers code or developer productivity. Everybody wants to go down the cursor and windsurf route or lovable emergent kind of a vibe coding route. But then it is heavily competitive, and you will be surprised when we just see use cases where if a customer is able to handle things like OCR and basic customer verification for insurance companies, they're actually making a lot more uh, end-to-end ROI for these businesses, and they're actually getting paid the bucks for it. So I think that's what's underappreciated, and I think it's also a nature of Twitter. It hypes what is available in the market for developers. Uh, but actually, the real B2B businesses, people who don't have like the best, fanciest websites, are probably the ones that are actually having some sticky business that is sustainable to a certain extent.
Yeah, I mean, totally hear you. I have a major thesis on kind of AI going into specific domains and kind of going into verticals. I think the challenge there is the customers still need to be educated, right? I mean, there is kind of now a propensity to adopt AI, but the sales cycles are longer. You have to kind of work harder, where compared to dev tools and kind of the
Yeah.
PLG motion products, which just tend to spread fast.
Hmm. I agree. I agree. I mean, in a way that what we're also seeing is there's a new age of founders who are actually operators becoming AI founders who are not, I mean, the first set of AI companies were people from AI, ML, techies, like engineers coming and building things out. Now we are seeing a lot of say, sales leaders coming and building something in AI. They find a engineer, they work together as a CEO and a CTO and just start building a company. I think that's where, like, as a company, we also benefit a lot because we tend to, when we are in managed infrastructure, you kind of tend to work with companies who are heavily focused on product engineering and don't want to spend resources or time figuring things out on the earliest stages on infrastructure, which I feel as a early adopter 2 years back, an engineer-led company would want to. We also did that. That's how we landed on infrastructure. We were building applications. We started dabbling in infrastructure. We ended up becoming an infrastructure company. So I think I do agree with that, and I think that thesis that you're having is also playing out in the kind of founders that are now starting companies.